Okay, part 2 about the Gamestop transgender clusterfuck. Alright, so if you watch the other video and the people I've mentioned and all the other stuff, you kind of see where I'm coming from. With that young woman, you can kind of tell that she used to be a man. I can't really say that they're young because I don't know the age of that person, but she was apparently arguing with an elderly woman who was asking her politely to please stop cussing because there was a young child in the room. As a man, I have been subjugated to being asked not to cuss, and I cuss a lot. So I kind of understand why the lady would ask the other lady to stop cussing. And when we get in public, we really got to learn how to stop showing our asses. And that's the one thing humans will never master, because some of us just aren't behaved enough, and I'm guilty of that shit too, but it takes a lot to piss me off. But once I start smiling, somebody's fixing to get a new dentist, because I'm fixing to rearrange their face. Now, moving on, the thing with my personal opinion with the community at large, I don't know all the letters. Alright, let's keep that shit real. I heard him say the letters. Excuse me, I fucked up. I'm sorry to that person. I heard her say the letters and how the GameStop was going to lose the money and all that shit. And as serious as possible as I can tell you, I really don't know all the letters, because apparently there's a new letter every day. And when you go into alternative lifestyles, it's so easy to offend people who live regular lifestyles. God only knows how many alternative lifestyle people I have offended with this video or with the other video. And I'm not defending the transgender person or the store clerk. I'm just voicing my opinion because it kind of both were in the right and the wrong. Alright? In the right because of misidentification of gender. And apparently I've done some research on that, and they're saying that that is actually a crime. It's not a crime that you probably can get arrested for depending on your state, but in the defense of the person making that offense, like if I meet a transgender male who's turning into a female and I call him sir, kind of like in that video, how the fuck am I supposed to know? I'm here to sell video games. That's pretty much it. I'm here to sell video games. I'm not here to sexually judge your preference or to make an untimely sexual remark. It's not my job. I'm not living your life. I'm not your life partner. I have no idea where you go when you leave the GameStop store. Whatever you do behind your closed doors, unless we're playing online together, I don't fucking know you. And I'm pretty sure that the community in the gaming world does not fucking know that anybody they're playing with is transgender or regular female or regular male or hermaphrodites or whatever the hell the gender codes are. I don't know them. I'm 45 years old and I don't know tech or none of the tech jargon or none of the medical terms or any of that shit. I am not a scientist. I got infantry for a reason. It's called stupidity. However, that stupidity only worked in math. I suck at math. I do have enough common sense to get through life. I do know that people get offended very easily by some of the things that fly out of my mouth, because I get offended very easily by some of the things that fly out of other people's mouths. Now, the things that generally offend me is when race becomes a factor. Everything else I'm kind of okay with because I'm an asshole and I know I'm not the only one. Alright? But I'm not a smelly asshole. Now, as for everyone else, how you perceive other people or how you're going to treat them or talk to them. And if you see someone like me in a dress, you're going to assume that I'm either gay or transgender, and you're probably going to call me sir until I correct you. 1, I have worn dresses before. 2, I'm not gay or transgender, so we're good. But if a girl wants me to wear a dress and it's guaranteed that we're going to have sex because I'm wearing that dress, guess what? I'm wearing that dress. I'm not wearing any thongs or anything, or a bra, but I will wear that dress if it's guaranteed that I'm going to have sex with that hot chick that night. Especially if it's a costume party. Just hoping that she's a person of honor and will honor her word. Anyway, moving on, all jokes aside, when we identify with people who don't know their physical gender versus their mental gender, alright, we don't know how they live their lives. We don't. We do know that they have to be pretty brave to live that life, because there are people who are out to hurt them just because their gender identity crisis has kind of bled into not just their lives but everyone who they encounter. And you don't know who you encounter without actually sitting down and having a conversation. When I was younger, I was extremely homophobic. Alright? I was scared of every gay man on the planet. Even the ones that I didn't know was gay because I didn't know they were gay. And 9 times out of 10, if you sit down and have a conversation with someone and actually get to know something about them and not be like, alright, well, I'm going to talk to this white man. He really hates black people, but I'm going to talk to him anyway. It might not be that he really hates black people. It might be that he had at least one racist incident that turned him more towards hating black people than not. Alright? And the same can be said for an Asian man, a white man, a black man, a motherfucker from outer space, a Tory and a Krogan and all that shit. As humans, some of us are naturally racist, and most of the time, it has nothing to do with how you've been brought up. It may have been that you had a bad experience. I've had lots of bad experiences, and sadly, I've had more bad experiences from black people than I've had from white people. Now, I know that really probably fucked your world up right there, didn't it? Yes, it did, because a lot of black people, as I've been going through grade school, middle school, and high school, my favorite, you're not a real nigger, you're a half nigger. So, yeah. I got a lot of bad things from black people, and I got just as much as from people who are actually from Africa, which has nothing to do with this video, but at the same time, you know, one bad experience can fuck a person up in general. That transgender person has probably had that 4 times before this video even came out, and he mentioned it, that he was excuse me, god damn it, I did it again, I'm sorry. She mentioned it. I didn't mean to do that, honestly I didn't, that's why I excused myself and apologized. She has mentioned it. It was like the 5th time, or the 4th time that this thing has happened, and that maybe it's the same guy that keeps calling him instead of him or her. This is confusing you, it's confusing me. I'm trying not to offend people while I'm trying to talk about this shit. This may be a 3-part video thing. But at the same time, you know, you have to realize that we don't live in your city. The city's not identified. The state's not identified. I go to only one GameStop in my town because I only know where 3 of them are, and due to my legal status of being afraid of being arrested for bumping into my ex, I don't go to the one on the mall because she used to shop on the mall, and I don't go to the one at the university because her father's a university professor and I don't know how much power they may have. So only time I go near the university is when I go to Rackham to buy my shoes on Tuesday because they do military discounts. God, I can't wait till I get paid. Anyway, I'm going to go to the one across the street from the mall. There's more options there, there's more room, and the people are damn friendly. You know, and I've never had an issue there with me talking their ears off, which I generally do when I get there. They know me by name. All hell GameStop across from the mall. Fashion Square Mall. Now, I don't go to the one in Fashion Square Mall also because there was a girl there when I broke up with my ex that I really wanted to get with. And she started off at the mall that I go, I mean not the mall, at the GameStop that I went to. And out of fear that she would think that I was harassing her after she rejected me for a date, I stopped going to that one for a minute and started going to the one on the mall. When they transferred her over to the one on the mall, I spoke to her there and told her that I'm going to continue to go back to the other GameStop so that she doesn't feel like I'm stalking her. And we had a good conversation, and then eventually she left both of the GameStops and got a better job somewhere. I have no idea where she is, but she drives a Prius. Anyway, that wasn't from stalking. Someone told me she drives a Prius because they knew I was interested in her. But she told me where she lived, and I will not reveal that. I know it's down towards the certain area off of 64. I don't know her exact address, but she told me about where she lives. And I'm not going to put her on blast about that, because hopefully she's happy and having a good relationship. Because I know I never had a chance with her to begin with, because she was super hot. Alright? And I'm exceptionally ugly. Anyway, that being said, you know, I don't know how the world sees me, but I'm pretty sure they probably see me pretty ugly. But anyway, that being said, when you working in a retail store, I worked at TJ Maxx. I generally stayed in the back. I loved my job at TJ Maxx because all I did was unload the truck. I missed my job at TJ Maxx. But anyway, when you work at a retail store or any capacity of jobs where customers are always coming in, you kind of have to be on your best behavior. And though everybody has the right to be a dick, there's a time and a place for everything. And I don't know if this person has dealt with that person all the time and has constantly called the female a male. I don't know about that. But that person did say in the video that she has been sexually misidentified over and over and over again at the same damn GameStop. 2 solutions to that, depending on how big her town is. two solutions. One, go to another GameStop. It's just that simple. It's a high chance that you won't get the same treatment at one GameStop as you go to another GameStop. Two, kill them with kindness. Even when they call you sir, excuse me, could you please refer to me as ma'am? And then drop it. Don't keep digging your grave with a silver spoon. Because that's how shit just blows over and keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. It's kind of the same thing that's been going on here with those fucking statues that cost a young lady her life. Because instead of just letting shit go, it just had to go from bad to worse and from 0 to 60, and then a young man trying to be a martyr plowing through a bunch of people because of his racist views caused all that crap. And this kind of reverts back to the GameStop racism. Sometimes we have to accept the hand of fate. I'm not saying that it's always the thing to do, but sometimes we have to accept the hand of fate. Because you can't change other people's opinions in every conversation you have. Not a lot of people on earth are very open-minded, so they're not really going to be down with the shit that comes out of people's mouths. They just don't give a shit. And that happens, and we have to accept that. And we have to go forward, because if you dwell on it, you're going to be stuck there forever. And it's not affecting the person that's put you there. It's not affecting them at all. They're just going to walk past you and keep giggling, and either you're going to do something exceptionally stupid, like try to fight them and might wind up in the hospital, or you're going to do something even worse and then wind up in prison. And it's really not worth it. I mean, it's GameStop. Come on. There's got to be more than one in your town, because we have at least 5 of them. In fact, let me give you the locations. We have one in the University Mall, down at Barracks Road, across from Rackham. Well, it's actually moved next to like Kroger's and CVS. So that's over there in the Emmett Street Shopping Center. And if you go way the hell up the road there, on one side or the other, you have the Fashion Square Mall. There's a GameStop in there. It used to be next to Aunt Sarah's Pretzels, I think that's what it's called. And then across the street from the mall, the GameStop that I shop at, next to the Hardee's and the Meineke or whatever the hell the mechanic shop is, and a new MMA studio right there, which I need to go back by, try and get a job. Anyway, and then if you go further down, like where Target and them is, there's a GameStop down there. And the 5th location is even further down, closer towards Ruckersville. I can't remember where the hell it exactly was, and I could be wrong there, but either way you go, there's enough GameStops in Charlottesville and all the way down 29 where you can find them, because they're all on 29 to my knowledge. If I miss one, then I'm sorry. But when you go to these places, you know, you have to understand that these things can happen. I'm going to have to make a third video because my nephew just popped up loud as hell.